Have a very special treat for you today. I'm actually traveling. I'm in Las Vegas, and one of the questions I get a lot is, John, how do you eat when you travel? Well, when I travel, I try to eat just like I was at home. I eat a diet rich in fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. So here in Las Vegas, I have the advantage of several cool Asian markets, and I don't have back home. And look what I found. I found this cool jackfruit. See, the jackfruit is one of probably the world's largest tree fruit. These can get up to be like 50 pounds. This fruit right here is actually about 20 pounds. It was about $1 a pound, so this thing cost me $20. So that's a $20 fruit right here. And we're gonna cut that open and show you how to eat it, basically. So the first thing when you're picking out a jackfruit to pick out and buy, you wanna try to get one that's really ripe. Because most of the times, some people and some cultures actually buy the jackfruit not for the fruit itself, but for the seeds. They'll actually roast and boil and the seeds and eat those salted. So the seeds can be edible, but I like to buy the jackfruit for the fruit itself, and they are so delicious. So the best way to find a ripe jackfruit is to be underneath the jackfruit tree and let it fall off the tree. But watch out when it falls, because a 50-pound fruit or even a 20-pound fruit hits you from way tall above, it's gonna hurt, and I don't recommend it. So otherwise, other ways to check are, sometimes I like to go by the color. If I have a whole bin of jackfruit, I'll look and I'll try to pick the one that's the most yellowish golden color versus the greenish color. Another really good way is use your two nostrils, use your sniffer and sniff it, and it should smell just really sweet and really good. If it has no smell, it might not be right. The other thing, you want to check the pressure. Should yield to general pressure, and you want to look for black or moldy spots. One of the stores I went to had jackfruits that kind of had sections where you could just push your finger in and it would just totally go in. So that's not too good either. So this is the best one I could find. Without further ado, let's cut it open. So this is 20 pounds. We're gonna cut this in half. Be about 10 pounds at that point. So we gotta have a nice knife, make sure it's really sharp. Many times I like to use a serrated knife. So we're just gonna take this. And this is one big fruit, man. I'm just like cutting this fruit in half. It's kind of funny, cutting a fruit this big in half. It's rare that I get to cut something this big. All right, so here it is, a cut open jackfruit. All right, I did pretty good. So when you cut open the jackfruit, this is what it looks like. And inside here, this is like the core. This is not really edible. The part that you want to eat on a jackfruit is right here. There's these little seed pods, and these are the seeds. Oop, there it goes. These seed pods come out, and some people's basically either boil or fry these and salt them up and eat them like nuts, which you can do. But we want to eat this fruit. So I got a really nice and ripe one. This is orange in color. We're going to carefully cut out these little sections that surround the seed, and that is the edible part of the jackfruit. It is oh so good. So normally how I get these out is I'll use my knife and I'll cut around the edge, on the bottom edge, and then along the top. And then a little section will come out, and you might notice there'll be these other sections that come out too with it. While these are edible, they don't taste very good, so I recommend just discarding that section. And then you're gonna remove the seed, and then you could eat the rest of the fruit there. This is a good jackfruit. The other thing you'll notice, and you kind of notice these things are sticking to me, and on my knife here, I got all this white gooey stuff that's stuck to my knife blade. This is latex. This is a naturally occurring in the jackfruit, and this is fine, very hard to clean. So the other question is, John, how do I clean the latex? Well, you could use soap and water all day long, and guess what? This stuff will not get removed. You're gonna have to use another great solvent, coconut oil, or actually any other kind of oil will work, will basically dissolve the latex to get it off. So rub your hands with coconut oil before you start to eat the jackfruit so that you can clean yourself up later on and you won't have all kinds of latex stuck to you. It's also good for cleaning your knives and other utensils too. So I'm sitting here enjoying my jackfruit, and I'm just basically cutting out piece by piece with the knife till I got down to this point, so I got all the main pieces out. Now what you're gonna do is take out the core of the jackfruit. So I like to take out this core because all the jackfruit pieces that you eat are actually attached to the core. But before I take out the core and show you how to do that and reveal all the jackfruit, it's gonna look real cool. I like to tell you more about the jackfruit. So hey John, how does it taste? Well, the jackfruit, it tastes just like juicy fruit gum. So if you've had juicy fruit gum, that's the flavor of jackfruit, because juicy fruit gum got their flavor from jackfruit. So jackfruit is the original juicy fruit gum. It's actually kind of chewy a little bit, but that being said, I have gotten jackfruits that are more hard and crunchy, and then there's varieties that are more chewy. But on the most part, I like the chewy kind better. Sometimes if they're kind of hard and crunchy, they're actually not completely ripe. So the flavor intensifies with any fruit as well as with jackfruit when the fruit is completely ripe. So I encourage you to get as ripe as possible. I've had other jackfruits that are hard and crunchy and really don't taste good, and it wasn't ripe, because not all the time will they sell you ripe fruit. Sometimes they sell you unripe fruit. And actually the time I got unripe fruit was actually in Hawaii. Jackfruit is a tropical tree, so it grows in the tropics, such as Hawaii and Florida here in the United States, Puerto Rico, and other tropical locations. These seeds are viable. I actually will save these seeds, dump them in a pot with a whole bunch of soil, and just let them be and water them every once in a while. And I started to get jackfruit plants. Now I'm living in California, so the plants would grow. Maybe they'd be a nice indoor container plant, but you know what? These trees get to be really, really tall. And so it's probably never gonna produce fruit in California, although it's fun as a curiosity. So once you mostly eat all the fruit out, then you're gonna take your knife and gently like cut a slit down here. And I like to do it at a little bit of an angle, not too much of an angle. And let's see how good I am today. You cut too much, you're gonna cut too much off the fruit off. So there you go. This is the center core. All the jackfruit is actually attached to this core. This is the core it grows off of. So we've taken that out, and you can cut off all the little orange pieces. Also, I'd like to say that the jackfruit can come in an orange or yellow color. I particularly like the orange color a bit better. Once you get that off, you can basically see the rest of the fruit, and we could do this. This is really cool. You could take the fruit like this, and you could see all the different pods, and there's some seeds dropping out. But all the different pods are the different things you eat. You could literally now reach in here, grab one whole thing of fruit out, and then here we could pop out the seed in the middle. Look at that, it just pops right out. And this is the delicious part that you eat. I love jackfruit so much. I'm gonna get back to eating, and let's see if I'm gonna finish this other half of the jackfruit off. I encourage everybody to eat their fruits fresh. So eat fresh jackfruit, but if you do have extra, or you can't find jackfruit, many times in Asian markets you could find frozen jackfruit. So it'll be the pods that are seeded and they'll be frozen. So what I like to do with the frozen jackfruit is blend them into smoothies, like a banana jackfruit coconut smoothie. So good. Or you could actually take the frozen jackfruit and then run it through like the Champion juicer, or a juicer with a homogenizing or blank plate to make jackfruit ice cream, or more appropriately, jackfruit sorbet. I gotta get back to eating, my mouth is watering. So I'm just about finished eating my jackfruit, and you can see here's a jackfruit carcass left, and it's all flat now. It's kind of cool, and we're gonna go ahead and take out this last pod out of here, and they kind of just stick in there like that. You're just gonna kind of come in and pull it out. One whole jackfruit pod. Like to break it open, and then basically just pull out the seed. And there's the seed. Here's the fruit. So good. Eating jackfruit's a really sensuous experience. And I don't mean like in the sexual sense, I just mean your sensations are totally come alive, because the smell, oh, it just smells fresh and fruity, like juicy fruit gum. It smells so good. And I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, look at this carcass. I mean, look at the back. It's crazy. Some people would say, oh, John, is that a durian? No, this is a jackfruit. It's way different than durian. This has a nice, pleasant aroma, although some people with durians would say that, you know, durians has a pleasant aroma, and I do agree. Some people don't think durians smell good, but I haven't really met anybody that doesn't think jackfruit doesn't smell good. The other thing, jackfruit is a lot larger than durian. So this one was 20 pounds. They can be up to, 50 pounds. The spikes on the jackfruit aren't that sharp. So on the durian, they're much, much sharper, so these aren't quite as sharp. And jackfruit is one of my top 5 favorite fruits in the whole wide world, so I'm really lucky getting to eat it today. So my jackfruit that I bought, once again, was 20 pounds. It was on sale for 99 cents a pound, so it was about $20 roughly. And this is my first meal of the day today. And it was, I don't want to say 10 pounds of jackfruit because the shell actually weighs a bunch and the fruit actually weight is not a whole lot. And there's a seed in there too. But definitely a nice size, filling, raw food meal. Oh, so if you have extra jackfruit, what do you do with it? Well, jackfruit, and from my experience, will store pretty good for 1 or 2 days. After 2 days, it really starts to get kind of funky. So you probably, at that point, would want to freeze it. You can dehydrate it, but in my experience, definitely frozen jackfruit that you use in a smoothie is a lot better than a dehydrated jackfruit. It just kind of loses some of that, the fun and the taste, you know. So anyways, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Getting back to finishing my last piece of jackfruit. We'll see you next time, and keep eating.